Hello everybody, this is jBrereton from the SomethingAwful forums. You may also see me around on Desura and the Dom3 Mods forum. I'm currently recording a game as Sauromatia over at the SomethingAwful forums, and I just thought I'd introduce you to what the nation is and does and my pretender creation. So Sauromatia is a nation, as it says here, of nomadic warrior tribes. They have quite a lot of cavalry, some of which is recorded outside of your forts, and they have a wide and strong variety of archer units as well, and reasonably good medium infantry. The main kind of unique ability of the nation, I'd say though, is their very convenient magical research, because they have a 90% astral mage called a soothsayer, and as a result you can always get them in a palisade, and you don't have to kind of cart around mages between all your different forts, so their magical infrastructure is very quick to set up. And their other mages are actually quite good as well. They have a D1 mage called a Spirit Guide, which can do all the standard D1 stuff like incredibly light skelly spam or things like dust, which is very helpful. You can also get an S1 D2 N1 mage called an Inari. They have all kinds of useful communion abilities, as you can imagine. On the other hand, they are a little bit vulnerable to magic duel, and they cost, I would say, a tiny bit too much for the powers you get. Their other mages are the Warrior Priestess, which is a holy mage, as you can probably imagine. They have N1 to start with, and they can also get blood, water, another point of nature, or death. As a result, they're quite flexible, and they're also your main platform for blood hunting. I mean, compared to, say, Mictlan, you have quite expensive blood hunting, but compared to the Varnir nations, it's pretty cheap overall, I'd say. And the nation has quite a lot of useful stuff it can do with all that blood magic. Anyway, that's the introduction to the nation. Here is the god I've created for the game. It is a man-eater. A man-eater is a kind of light super combatant, I'd say. They're certainly not in the same league as a dragon, but the advantages they do have is they have very good fear, they can fly, and on the negative side they are a pop killer. On the other hand, with sufficient growth, even if you left them in your capital, it's actually completely manageable, I'd say, especially on only one unit. For magic, I went with Earth 5. You start with Earth 1 on a magic eater, and 5 is all you ever really need to break into the whole Earth tree. And Blood 6. Blood 6 gives you the quite useful strength ability for your sacreds, and as well as that, it's a good level for forging, and makes blood hunting very convenient as well. In terms of Dominion, it's Dominion 7. 7's pretty safe, especially since the nation has blood sacrifice and actually has a native blood income, unlike some others like the Varnir nations. Order 3, because you can always use money. Sloth 2, the nation has very masterful troops. It has 5 resource composite bowmen, as well as cavalry units, which are both quite gold cheap and certainly resource cheap relative to a lot of others. A couple of points of heat. They have Hedras from their capital, and it helps with a larger variety of demons than Coldwood. Hopefully this won't lead to me getting rushed and killed by an earth snake, but you never know, it might happen. Growth 3, because Growth 3 is always a very useful scale. It's probably the best income scale, so long as you intend to be in the game longer than a year. A couple of points of luck, which is something that I personally swear by. It's always handy, and it stops you running into a couple of bad misfortune events that, you know, tank your capital, which you never really want, especially not in EA when the game is so reliant on capitals. And a couple of points of magic, because you do have very cheap magical researchers, and you might as well double down on that, I'd say. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.